This is the Perfect Being. I'm here to tell you all to subscribe to the perfect channel, UnrealEntGaming. Please remember to turn on your notifications to be the first to know about the latest in Dragon Ball news and information. And if you don't, very soon you will all be dead, along with your entire planet.
Goku is undoubtedly Universe 7's trump card going into the Tournament of Power, as Goku seems to be the key behind what may or may not happen leading into the ending of the Tournament of Power. And given his nature, on today's video, we're going to be diving into 5 predictions surrounding Goku within the Tournament of Power that I personally feel may happen. And as always, this is going to be an opinionated video, so if you have any prediction of your own to share, in which I challenge you, the viewer, to post 5 predictions of your own for Goku and Goku only down in the comments, and seeing where exactly the community stands on the subject of Goku within the Tournament of Power. And in case you guys have not already, be sure to go on ahead and punch that subscribe button, and most importantly, turn on the bell icon by punching the notifications button in order to be notified whenever I post a video onto the channel, #notification squad, and be sure to be the first to be notified whenever a Dragon Ball video drops onto this channel by punching that bell icon. Now, to start things off, given Goku's nature, Goku has always been one to take things very lightly in dropping his guard early on, until eventually he is forced to work his way up the ranks and having to push his powers beyond its current standards and breaking his limits time and time again, as seen with various different villains within Dragon Ball such as Frieza, Cell, Buu, Beerus, and now having to go into the Tournament of Power. I want to go on ahead and start it off with the very first prediction that has to involve Goku in the Tournament of Power, having to involve tension between Goku and Frieza. Now, we already know, based on Goku and Frieza's history, there is absolute tension between the two, at least in the case of Frieza, and having to see Frieza's reaction once he saw Goku down in hell, pretty much asking him to join the team in his recruitment process on bringing Frieza on over to Universe number 7's team. And I do think at some given point, having to see Frieza's hatred for Goku, having to see Goku pique his curiosity on how far Frieza's evolution can take him, I do think at some given point we are going to see Frieza and Goku bump heads in the Tournament of Power. Number one, it's the perfect time, the perfect place, the perfect setting for Frieza and Goku to have a little bit of an exchange of words, even at some given point having to get physical momentarily, until either A, someone jumps in and interrupts, or B, they come to the realization that they're on the same team and they have to work together. Regardless of the situation, Frieza and Goku at some given point are bound to be neck and neck with each other, as one person is bound to disagree with the other, as Goku is going to be commanding Frieza to stick with the plan in furthering Universe number 7's chances of survival. But in all honesty, Frieza doesn't seem like the type of person that really cares about either sticking with the plan or helping his own teammates, which I do think at some given point Goku's going to bark orders at Frieza, and Frieza is going to disagree in rebelling against Goku and telling him not to boss him around. At some given point, we actually may see Frieza kind of low-key try to attack Goku when the opportunity presents itself, as it is within Frieza's character to do so. But at some given point, I think sometime during this tournament, we're bound to see Goku and Frieza either have a show of exchange of words, or even at some given point have them be physical, in true Golden Frieza having to battle against Super Saiyan Blue Goku, either A, until someone steps in, or B, they do something to each other in which results in all-out chaos. The second prediction going into this video is Goku having to work with Gohan to further Universe 7's chances in surviving the Tournament of Power. As we've seen in the brand new outro of Dragon Ball Super, it was foreshadowed that Goku and Gohan may in fact be working together in order to further their chances in surviving against the multiverse. And in essence, that'll be a great idea. Number one, we haven't really seen Goku and Gohan work definitively together to battle against said opponents. We've often seen Goku and Vegeta, we've often seen Goku and Piccolo, but never really having to see Gohan and Goku simultaneously take out several opponents, if any multiple opponents, at the exact same time. And what better way for the son to learn from the father than having both of them team up to help each other as they further their chances in surviving. This could also be a method in allowing Gohan to pick up from the ideals of his training and furthering his growth process within the tournament itself, as he sees the way his father is handling himself and also picking up from that and learning himself, which of course would also strengthen Gohan's relationship with his father, as as they're forced to fight back to back with each other, as I do definitely predict Goku in having to make the save several times in protecting his son, and vice versa in having Gohan stick up for his father and defending him from certain obliteration. At some given point, Gohan is going to be a very pivotal role going into this tournament. However, I think one of those pivotal roles is going to include Gohan having to work with his father, and with that, strengthening their relationship and furthering the team as a whole. Now, moving on to my third prediction is Goku will indefinitely battle against Hit, only this time I can see the outcome favoring Goku. In this particular scenario, it's kind of hard to believe that Goku at this very point cannot trump Hit, as previous to this, we saw during the Universe 6 battle, we saw how Hit was able to time skip Goku even while under Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 10, but I think with all of this experience having to be gained by fighting Hit, Goku would have mastered the ability to counteract the Tokitobashi in being able to turn the tables on Hit. By no means do I predict that this fight is going to be easy for Goku, so as long as he prolongs the battle with Hit, giving Hit time to improve, but instead I can definitely see Goku having to take Hit serious from the start, as Goku does know what Hit is capable of, and thus using that to his advantage. I do think that at some given point Goku is going to struggle, but not so much so as he did during their first encounter, but instead I can definitely see Hit improving. But by the end of this, if you have Goku versus Hit, I do think by the end of this, Goku will emerge the victor between himself having to battle against the assassin. It's also safe to say that at some given point, I think that he will allow Hit to improve at some given point, but even with that being said, with Goku's newfound powers having to be hidden within him until of course he later on breaks his limits, Hit is going to be either comparative to Goku or at least a little stronger until Goku fully takes Hit serious in being able to defeat him. So between Goku and Hit, I do believe this is going to be one of the best battles of the entire tournament, but at the end of the day, between Hit and Son Goku at this very point in a tournament-like setting, I'm gonna have to give the victory on over to Son Goku once he encounters Hit, because it's bound to happen at some given point within the Tournament of Power. Which leads into my fourth prediction, that being Goku having to struggle with his new powers against Jiren. I do predict that Goku will achieve a new transformation by compressing all of his god energy within his body, and thus using Kaioken as a catalyst or last resort for the matter. But even with that being said, I don't think these new powers are going to be enough to beat Jiren without the aid of the other Universe 7 fighters, and thus having Goku and Jiren fight on an even level, as I do believe that Goku should and will struggle even with his new powers having to be unlocked. I do think that Jiren the Grey is going to completely pound Super Saiyan Blue out of Goku and forcing Goku to step it up a level or two in breaking his limits, finally, after having to tease that ever since the beginning of the introduction of the Tournament of Power within the Universe Survival arc. And at that given point, I do think that Goku should struggle in the idea that Goku should not solo the entire tournament, and I do think that even with Goku's new powers, it should put him either A, on a comparative level with Jiren, or B, slightly stronger. By no means should Goku even trump Jiren, completely overpowering him. I do think that either A, they should be on a comparative level, or B, if anything, if they want to make Goku stronger than Jiren, they ought to make him slightly stronger, but still having a difficult time in battling the strongest Pride Trooper of Universe number 11. I do also think that whatever Goku's new power is going to be, it's going to not only shock his opponents, but it's also going to shock the gods as well, as we did have a teaser to the upcoming Universe Survival poster, as Goku did claim the work of the gods ends here. Now you can interpret that however you want to interpret it, but either way, I do think that prior to this, prior to Goku breaking his limits, I do think that Jiren is going to beat Goku all around the ring. Even at some given point, I do think that Goku may require the help of the other Universe 7 fighters to combat the likes of Jiren, in which I do think by the end of the day, Goku simply cannot defeat Jiren without the aid of the other fighters, as I do stand by my opinion that Jiren the Grey is going to be a very powerful adversary. If anything, simply put, the very mortal that Whis was talking about and being stronger than a Hakaishin, as it would make sense going into this tournament. But regardless of what you guys think, I still think in this overall scenario, Goku is going to struggle before he transforms, and even after, he's still going to struggle, but not as much, either putting them on a comparative level or simply having Goku be a little stronger than Jiren. In which leads into my final prediction, and that being Goku makes it to the finals but potentially loses. Now, having to look at this from an overall standpoint, it would make sense for Goku to be one of the last fighters remaining, but I do think it'll be suitable for Goku to make it into the finals against the likes of Jiren and several others remaining, but ultimately ends up losing, leaving the spot open for the real winner of the tournament, either having to be Gohan, Vegeta, or whoever else they decide to actually include as the winner of the tournament, as I do think that Goku is going to be a primary highlight for this tournament, as he will have undoubtedly the best fights going into the tournament, having to fight Jiren, having to fight Toppo, having to fight Hit and several other characters. I do think that Goku is going to get the spotlight, but having him win the tournament by the end of all of this would be a tad bit of overkill, given the fact that A, Goku had the best fights, and B, having him break his limits, something nobody else have done before, and also having him win the tournament would be a little bit too much spotlight on the character himself. Just having him have the best fights and break past the Super Saiyan Blue limits would be good enough for me, as I don't think Goku should have the entire spotlight be put on him, as I do think this should be room in potentially growing other characters as well. We haven't seen Gohan and or other characters do anything in the show, so giving them the victory spotlight would be best suited, as Goku would have not only the best fights in the tournament, but also having to be the first person to break his limits and beyond, and showing the multiverse just how powerful he truly is when he taps into his true power. So I do think that Goku, given the scenario, either might end up fighting Jiren at the very end, and depending on how you look at this, this can result in three different ways. Number one, Goku could potentially be the one to throw Jiren out the ring, and thus allowing Universe number 7 to pick up the victory in winning the Tournament of Power. Number two, you can have Jiren throw Goku out of the Tournament of Power and having Universe 11 win, or option number three, simply put, Goku and Jiren cause a double knockout in which there is no other fighter remaining in the ring, and thus having to create another situation as to what the Omni King does then, as nobody is left standing, as nobody is declared a winner, via it being a draw. And for that, that's entirely up to you as to how you guys perceive Goku going into the Tournament of Power, but I would like to know your 5 predictions going into the Tournament of Power involving Goku. Where do you see Goku stand in terms of a fighter? How do you see him play about going further into the finals? Do you see him winning? Do you see him losing? Who do you see him fighting? What do you see him doing? Post your comments down below, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys love Dragon Ball, be sure to go on ahead and punch that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you guys can be notified whenever I post a Dragon Ball video onto this channel. And of course, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to go on ahead and slap a like down below. Tune back in for more. Again, this is simply an opinionated video. I can see Goku do various different things in the tournament, but one of which having to involve his son, the other having to involve Frieza, the other having to involve his power struggle with Jiren, the other having to be him fighting Hit, and the last one having him possibly be the loser of this tournament, do play a critical role, as I do think Goku's character is going to have further involvement in the show, as I don't think that he's just going to be fighting people. I think that at some given point, Goku may actually end up regretting hosting this tournament, as his back will be placed against the wall and having him realize the overall gravity of the situation. But post your comments down below, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Tune back in for more. Part 2 featuring Vegeta is going to be up on the channel, so make sure you guys go ahead and tune back in for that. And I'll be seeing you all down the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe. I'm here to tell you all to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming and remember to turn on notifications. You will be the first to know all about the latest Dragon Ball news and information.
Oh, did you say UnrealEntGaming? Oh, I love his channel.
God damn it, Zarbon, stop rubbing your nipples and get back to bed!